Welcome. This is Don McCauley with the Free Publicity Focus Group, and today I'm going to be speaking with Rocky Romanella, Principal of 360 Management Services, LLC. The topic of the discussion today will be how to create the perfect meeting. Rocky has over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, including the UPS Store Franchise Network and UPS Supply Chain Solutions. He was Chief Executive Officer of Unitech Global Services and now heads up 360 Management Services, LLC. Rocky is widely known as one of the best keynote motivational speakers in the country and internationally. He's spoken in large and small venues all over the United States, including cities such as Atlanta, San Diego, Las Vegas, Phoenix, New York City, Dallas, Chicago, Miami, Houston, LA, Charlotte, and many others. Internationally, he's presented keynotes in Toronto, Mexico City, Milan, London, and Krakow. He's known for creating excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge while employing his talents and experience to motivate, inspire, and entertain audiences regardless of size. Let's begin by looking at some of the questions meeting planners should consider when attempting to create the perfect meeting. So Rocky, how important is the theme of the event?
Well, I think the theme of the event is really the beginning, but also maybe in many ways the most important part of the event. Because as I'm sitting as a participant, for example, in a logistics conference and understanding there's many conferences for me to attend, but I can only attend so many of them, that theme may be the thing that gets me to think about, well, that's the one I want to attend. So I think the theme is so important. I also think as you weave the theme throughout your event, I think it should all be coordinated. One of the things that I pay particular attention to is as I'm beginning to think about the keynote speech and I'm speaking with the event planners about the type of keynote speech that they would like to see, the type of elements and things they would like me to cover. I always want to know, well, what's the theme of your conference so that I can coordinate and weave in my keynote speech that theme. All too often, I've attended conferences as an attendee, and I know what the theme of the conference is. It's been marketed to me, all of the preparation, all of the invitations have come, and they've articulated the theme well, and yet the keynote may be a great keynote, but it doesn't really coordinate with the theme. And for me, I always felt like, wow, we missed something here. So I like to take the time personally to get to know what the theme is about. I always ask the planners, can you give me the name of 4 or 5 people you would like me to contact so that I can get a sense of what they're looking for in the conference? How does the theme impact them? What are they trying to accomplish? And so it's a combination of talking to some of the individuals coordinating the event, some of the individuals who are planning the event, and then also some of the attendees. And those 3 give me a good sense of what are they looking for? What are the things that when they leave, they'll look back and think, wow.
What about the type of event? Is that important?
I think that's so important. Is it an event that's very interactive? Is it an event that has breakout sessions that correspond and support the theme as well as support the keynote speech? So I think that's so important because I enjoy the breakout sessions as well. One of the things I really enjoy doing is having that keynote, but then also being able to have 2 or 3 breakout sessions that support not only the theme of the conference, but also support the breakout and the keynote speech. So I think understanding what the theme is, understanding the venue, and understanding the flow of the conference becomes so important because then it all becomes, one synchronized, sort of play almost, one synchronized sort of event where everything is supporting each other. So I think that's very, very important to understand, what is the theme, what's the flow, and what's the venue that's and how are all of these different parts going to be portrayed.
What are your feelings on the timing of the event?
So you really want to think like the customer in this particular case, but in this case, the customer is the attendee or the participant, and really pay particular attention to the venue, the location, the time of year, and also the day of the week, because depending on the businesses that are attending, certain days may be better for them to attend. than others. And then I think the next part of that is depending on what are the things you're trying to accomplish in that conference. So, for example, if you're going to have breakout sessions, depending on when your keynote speech is, if you're going to have very interactive type events where you have meet and greets, you have opportunities for people to talk to each other, networking type events, well, then you want the flow to happen and you want the logistics to be such that it's very easy for people to interact with each other. It's very easy for people to meet. It's easy for people to discuss. If you're doing breakout sessions, how do you move between the breakout sessions in a timely fashion? So I think those are all very important logistics parts of a conference that, while may go unnoticed to the participant, in many cases it's good that this goes unnoticed. It's kind of like a umpire referee in a sporting event. If nobody's talking about the referee or the umpire in a sporting event, it's a good thing. If nobody, if you leave a conference and it accomplished all the things and you left as a participant, this was well worth my time and effort. I'm really glad I attended. I met some great people, had some aha moments, and I learned some things, and you never talk about the logistics of it, it was a great conference.
So what are some of the things we need to consider when looking at the goals of an event?
This is a huge expense for an organization, and it's only an expense if at the end of the day or at the end of the conference or 6 months post-conference, the goals and aspirations of the conference aren't met. And so, but if they are, it becomes an investment. So I think these are huge investments in the training and development of the people in their organization, or if in the case of an association venue, all of the member associates. So I think it's so important to make sure that the theme is crystal clear. And I think the speaker's responsibility, and one of the things I pay particular attention to, is the ability to understand that theme and then understand how I weave the keynote into that theme. I think too often when I was an attendee of a conference, we would have this theme, we would have this conference. As you traveled around the conference or among the participants, the theme was so readily available for you to understand, and the focus was there, in the banners and all the advertisements and all the literature you received before the conference. Yet when the keynote speaker spoke, they may not speak about the theme at all. And so for me, I think it's very, very important for me to take the time to understand what the theme is, support that theme, understand what the goals and aspirations of the conference are, and weave that into the keynote.
So in your opinion, how can we go about making a particular event unique?
I think it comes down to preparation. If you think about a keynote speaker or you think about a person who is running a meeting, more times than not, they've done that before. So the actual event in terms of running it is a coordination. But the aha moments come from your preparation. Did I prepare? Do I understand what we're trying to accomplish in this event? Do I understand what the theme is and why it's so important for the organization and the meeting planners? And so I think it all comes down to preparation. You have to be prepared. You have to be part of that event. When I'm there as a keynote speaker, I'm part of that event. So therefore, I have to act like I'm part of that event. That's why I think the welcome dinner is so important. You get to meet the participants a little bit, and they feel like they know you as the keynote speaker versus just showing up, giving your keynote speech, and leaving. I think you want to be part of the event. I think people have to believe that you've taken the time, and it's a respect thing for me. I've taken the time to understand what you're trying to accomplish in this event, what the theme of this event is, what are the important takeaways that you'd like each of the participants to have, and how do I support those things? And that all comes with preparation.
What about tying in related services?
I think that all comes down to coordination. You have X amount of time at an event. Time is precious. Many of the participants may be giving up personal time or business time. In some events, they're paying their own way there potentially. And so they're away from their business. These are all important things to them. They may have had to make a decision as it pertains to work-life balance, a family event versus this event, but they need to participate in this event. So there's a lot of things that are happening. And so a very crisp well-coordinated event is really a respectful thing for the participants, and really it really helps to move those individuals through, and really I believe really helps in the learning process, because you feel like, wow, this is well done, very prepared, well coordinated. This is a great event to be at, and it just moves along, right? Because as a leader, as a business leader, you're making things happen. So just sitting around wondering what the next thing to do is. So the ability for you as an event planner to coordinate and have this thing be a very crisp operation, I think just says so much about you as the planner, but also about the event and about the organization and about what we're trying to accomplish as an organization in this event. I think that's what begins that process of, wow, I'm really here at an event that I think is going to be world class. I'm excited about being here. And then when all of the participants, the speakers, the individuals doing the breakouts, the way the group activities are all coordinated, when all of that goes off without a hitch, I feel good about the fact that, people really wanted me as a participant to enjoy this conference, learn something, have my takeaways, and not feel like, wow, I took away from my family or my business by being here. Instead, it's the opposite. I can't wait to go back to my business and tell my people about what I learned, as well as tell my family, hey, I'm sorry I missed an event potentially, but this was really a good opportunity for me to learn, grow, and develop as a business professional.
So, what does Rocky Romanella bring to the table?
I think that there are a lot of excellent speakers out there. And I think that, I've seen some excellent speakers, read some great books along the way, obviously, in my over 40-year career. But I think what differentiates Rocky Romanella from some of the best keynote speakers is my preparation. I believe it's so important, and I believe it's a respect thing, that you take the time to understand what are the participants trying to accomplish? What is going to make a difference in their life? And what differentiates you from your competitors out there? Well, that same question I would ask of a business I'm potentially building a solution for. I would ask that same question of myself. What differentiates Rocky Romanella from all other keynote speakers? And for me, it's preparation. It's the desire to connect with the audience. It's the desire to understand, what are we trying to accomplish in this conference and in this convention. And I always look out at the participants, and I always try to get there a day early to meet them. I try to take the time to meet some of the participants before the conference. I'll always ask the conference coordinators, hey, do you have a list of some people I can reach out to and get their sense of what are they looking to see at this conference? What are they trying to learn at this conference? What would be a great takeaway for them at this conference? What would they like to see in my keynote speech that could help them on their day-to-day, not only with my theme of my talk, but also how I tied in with the theme of their conference. I also like to talk to the meeting planners about what is it that you would like to see at the end of this keynote speech. I also enjoy very much the breakout sessions. And so if I can tie my keynote with the breakouts that I would be doing on behalf of the organization, then I believe you have the keynote, you have some breakouts, and then you have the theme, and you kind of weave this all together, and it reinforces what you're trying to accomplish. So for me personally, look, there's some great styles out there. We all have our style. I like to believe I never take myself so seriously that we can't smile. Well, we always laugh in one of my keynotes. You'll always laugh when you read the book, because you know what? We work hard enough. Why not have a little bit of fun? But at the end of the day, for me, it's about, do you walk away and do you have a few aha moments? And so my goal is to create a few great aha moments for you, so that when you're doing your daily routines, or you're out there, or you've got those difficult days, maybe one of those aha moments can make things a little bit easier, a little bit better for you. You know what? That's a good way of thinking of, hey, at the conference, Rocky talked about this. Maybe this could help me. So that to me is, for me, my personal satisfaction is knowing that somewhere along the line, somewhere along the way, over the next 3, 6, 9 months, year, there's some help that you need. There's something that happens in your daily life or your daily routine, or something that I said, or something that you read in the book, or some conversation we had at the conference when we met, trigger something that says, you know what, that's a good way for me to look at it. So for me, that's my personal satisfaction. And that's the thing I think that differentiates me, because I do want you to have those aha moments.